My child, stop right now and listen to me carefully. Only watch this when you are alone. I am not saying this to create fear. I am saying this because what I am about to speak is sacred. It is personal. It is meant for your ears and your heart without distraction. If you are seeing this right now, it is not by accident. I arranged this moment. I interrupted your routine. I slowed your steps so you would pause and hear me clearly. Do not scroll away. Do not treat this lightly. Open this before the next 5 seconds pass. Not because I am counting against you, but because obedience in small moments opens doors in big ones. I need your attention. I need your focus. I need your heart steady and listening. Within the next hour, something will happen in your life. Yes, within 1 hour. Someone will bring you a surprise. You may not know who. You may not expect it. But it has already been set in motion. This is not coincidence. This is divine arrangement. You have asked me for a sign. You have whispered in quiet places, Lord, show me that you are moving. And I am telling you now, movement has already begun. There is a shift in the unseen realm. There is a conversation taking place that involves your name. There is a decision being made that will affect you. There is a door being prepared to open. You must be alone because I want your heart open without influence. When others are near, their doubts can mix with your faith. Your opinions can cloud your clarity. But this is between you and me. This is a private promise before it becomes a public testimony. You have waited for something unexpected to break the routine of disappointment. You have waited for a call, a message, a word, a sign that would change your direction. And I tell you now, the hour is marked. I have been preparing this surprise quietly. While you thought nothing was happening, I was aligning pieces. I was stirring someone's heart. I was moving circumstances. I was arranging timing. The delay you experienced was not neglect. It was positioning. There were things that had to shift first. There were conversations that had to unfold. There were hearts that had to soften. There were obstacles that had to be removed. And while you waited, I worked. You may feel nervous hearing this. You may wonder if you are imagining it. But I speak clearly. Within the next hour, there will be a sign. It may come in the form of a message. It may come through a person. It may come through unexpected news. But when it arrives, you will remember this moment. Stay attentive. Do not let doubt drown this promise. The enemy will whisper that nothing will happen. He will say this is just emotion. But I am not a God who teases. When I declare movement, movement begins. Right now, even as you read, angels are active. Assignments are being carried out. Protection surrounds you. Timing is being guarded carefully. I do not release words without action behind them. The atmosphere around you is already shifting. You may feel a calm you did not have before. You may feel anticipation rising in your chest. That is not random. That is awareness of what is unfolding. Open your heart fully. Do not resist hope. Hope is not foolish. Hope is faith stretching forward to receive what is coming. This surprise will not harm you. It will not shame you. It will not confuse you. It will confirm that I have been listening. It will confirm that I have been near. You must remain alone in this moment because intimacy strengthens faith. When you are quiet, you can hear my whisper clearly. When you are still, you can sense my presence. Within 1 hour, you will notice something change. It may begin small, but it will carry weight. It will feel intentional. It will not feel random. Trust me now. Do not doubt in the final stretch. Stay ready. Stay watching. Stay believing. The hour is marked. The surprise is set. And I am smiling because you are about to see that I have never stopped moving in your life. My child, come closer and listen carefully. This moment is private and sacred. That is why I told you to be alone. Not because I want to isolate you from the world in fear, but because what I am speaking now requires stillness. It requires your heart to be undistracted. It requires your spirit to be open without outside voices interfering. When you are alone, you hear me differently. When the noise fades, my whisper becomes clear. You live in a world that never stops speaking. Messages, sounds, opinions, demands, they surround you constantly. Even when you are physically alone, your mind can still be crowded. That is why I am calling you into deeper quietness. This is not about physical isolation only. It is about inner stillness. It is about giving me space to speak into the deepest part of you without interruption. There are words that can only be heard in silence. There are promises that only land in a softened heart. If you were surrounded by distraction right now, you might treat this lightly. You might laugh it off. You might doubt it too quickly. But when you are alone, your spirit recognizes something sacred. You sense that this is not ordinary. I do not interrupt your life without reason. I do not pause your day casually. This is a divine interruption. You thought you were moving through a normal routine. You thought this was just another moment. But I stepped into your schedule. I touched the timeline of your day. I slowed you down because I needed your attention. Divine interruptions are gifts. They are not accidents. They are not delays meant to frustrate you. They are moments when heaven leans closer to earth. Moments when I speak clearly before something shifts. Moments when I prepare you internally before something moves externally. Say you open paths no one can close when you've seen his power. You may wonder why this second feels heavier than usual. Why your heart feels slightly stirred. Why your thoughts have slowed. That is because heaven has orchestrated this exact moment. Angels move according to my command. Timing aligns according to my will. I do not allow sacred moments to happen randomly. Before this day began, I saw you here. Before this hour arrived, I marked it. I knew where you would be sitting. I knew what you would be thinking. I knew what you would be carrying in your heart. And I said, this is when I will speak. That is how intentional I am about you. You are not one among billions to me. You are known. Your life is not a blur of random events. It is a story written carefully. And this page, this second, is written with purpose. That is why you must treat it as sacred. When you are alone, your defense is lower. You are not performing for anyone. You are not pretending to be stronger than you feel. You are not filtering your thoughts. In that honesty, I can meet you fully. I can speak into the real you, not the version you show others. Spiritual sensitivity grows in quietness. When your heart is loud with distraction, my voice feels distant. But when you slow down, you realize I have been speaking all along. I do not shout to compete with noise. I whisper to those who draw near. This moment is not about fear of missing something. It is about readiness. If you were distracted, you might miss the subtle shift happening inside you right now. There is preparation taking place within your spirit. There is alignment forming quietly. Heaven does not rush sacred encounters. They are designed carefully. The exact second you are living in is part of a larger movement. You cannot see the full picture, but I can. You cannot trace all the connections, but I am weaving them together. You might have almost skipped this. You might have almost continued scrolling. But something made you pause. That pause was not random. That pause was me. That hesitation was heaven gently touching your shoulder and saying, "Stay. I need you attentive because what I am about to unfold in your life requires faith. And faith grows strongest in quiet places. Faith strengthens when you are alone with me and hear my voice without echo. This is sacred because it involves your destiny. It involves your trust. It involves your obedience. I do not expose such things casually. I reveal them in stillness. The world may not understand why you feel drawn to stay here. Others may see it as ordinary. But your spirit knows something deeper is happening. There is a weight to this moment that cannot be explained by logic. Heaven orchestrated this exact second. Not earlier. Not later. Now. Timing matters. If this message had come a month ago, you might not have received it the same way. If it came next week, you might be distracted by something else. But now, your heart is positioned to listen. I do not waste moments. I do not waste your time. If I ask you to be alone, it is because intimacy strengthens clarity, and clarity prepares you for what is coming next. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness in your life and devotion to God. And if you want, you can donate to us via Super Thanks to show your support. Stay here in the quiet. Let your thoughts settle. Let your breathing slow. Feel the sacredness of this interruption. I am near. Closer than you think. Speaking softer than the world, but stronger than any Tao. This moment is private because it belongs to you and me. This moment is sacred because heaven prepared it. This moment is intentional because I chose it. And as you sit alone, know this. You are not alone at all. I'm here. My child, listen closely now, because the hour of surprise is not a distant promise. It is near. Within 1 hour something will move. You may not see it yet. You may not hear the sound of it forming. But I tell you clearly, the shift has already begun. Time is not wandering aimlessly right now. It is advancing toward a moment I have already prepared. This will not be coincidence. It will not be random chance. It will not be luck. It will be divine arrangement. You have lived through enough disappointment that you hesitate to expect good things suddenly. You have trained your heart to prepare for delay instead of delight. But this hour carries something different. This hour carries intention. Within 1 hour, something unexpected will begin to unfold. It may come quietly. It may arrive suddenly. It may not look dramatic at first. But when it happens, you will feel it. There will be a weight to it. A sense of timing. And knowing in your spirit that this was not accidental. You must understand that while you were waiting, I was working. Here is someone whose heart I have been stirring, someone whose thoughts have been shifting, someone who may not even fully understand why they feel prompted to act. But I know why. Because I place that prompting there. You see separation. I see connection. You see distance. I see alignment. The person I have prepared to bless you may not even realize they are part of your miracle yet. But I have been arranging steps. I have been guiding conversations. I have been allowing circumstances to shape them for this moment. Within 1 hour, something will move because preparation has reached fullness. There is a difference between wishing and readiness. This hour is ready. The movement is not forced. It is ripe. You may feel a mix of excitement and doubt as you hear this. Part of you wants to believe. Part of you fears disappointment. I know that tension. I have watched you hope before and feel let down. But this is not built on empty words. This is built on divine orchestration. The surprise will not come from the direction you expect. It may not arrive in the form you imagined, but it will carry confirmation. It will carry reassurance. It will carry evidence that I am not distant from your daily life. Someone will give you something. It may be words. It may be opportunity. It may be help. It may be an unexpected gesture. But when it comes, you will remember this moment. You will realize the timing is too precise to ignore. I have been preparing both sides quietly. While you were growing in patience, I was growing compassion in another heart. While you were learning trust, I was building courage in someone else. While you were wondering if I heard you, I was positioning someone to become part of your answer. Anticipation is building for a reason. You feel it in your chest. That subtle quickening. That sense that something is about to change. That is not imagination. That is awareness of movement. Do not let fear talk you out of expectancy. Fear will say, nothing will happen. Fear will say, this is just emotion. But faith whispers, watch. And I am asking you to watch with calm confidence. Within 1 hour, your day will not feel exactly the same. There will be a shift. Even if it begins small, it will carry weight. I am not speaking about fantasy. I am speaking about timing. I have not forgotten your prayers. I have not overlooked your silent tears. This hour is not random. It is part of a larger design. I am weaving together events you cannot fully see yet. The person I have prepared may have struggled with their own hesitation. They may have wrestled with doubt. But I have been nudging them. I have been creating circumstances that guide them toward you. Divine arrangement often feels ordinary on the surface, but underneath it carries precision. You must stay attentive. Not anxious. Not frantic. Just aware. Let your heart stay open. Let your spirit stay steady. The surprise is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to reassure you. You have felt overlooked before. You have felt forgotten. But this hour will remind you that you are seen, that you are remembered, that I move in real time. Anticipation is not foolish when it is rooted in me. I am not teasing you. I am preparing you. I speak before events unfold so that when they happen, your faith grows stronger. Within 1 hour, something unexpected will move. It may be a message notification. It may be a knock. It may be a call. It may be a shift in conversation. But it will carry significance. The surprise is not just about what you receive. It is about what you realize. You will realize that I am closer to your daily life than you thought. You will realize that heaven does not operate far above you but within the details around you. Let anticipation rise gently. You not overthink it. You not force it. Simply remain ready. I am not asking you to create the movement. I am telling you the movement is already forming. Within 1 hour, something will confirm that this was not coincidence. It will feel aligned. It will feel purposeful. And your heart will recognize it. Trust me in this hour. Stay calm. Stay watching. Stay open. Because the surprise is already on its way. My child, you saw silence, but I saw movement. You saw delay, but I saw design. What felt like nothing happening was actually everything aligning. The hidden preparation had been unfolding quietly, carefully, perfectly. I was working behind the scene in ways your eyes could never trace, in places your thoughts could never reach. When you thought the answer was late, I was adjusting timing. When you felt overlooked, I was positioning hearts. When you believed the opportunity had passed, I was protecting you from stepping into something incomplete. You measured progress by visible signs, but I measure by readiness. And readiness is often formed in secret. Comment, Father, you carried me all the way if he's been your strength in every step. The delay was not wasted time. It was alignment. Alignment of people. Alignment of decisions. Alignment of circumstances. If I had moved it too quickly, the encounter would have lacked depth. If I had opened the door too early, the foundation would not have been stable. I do not rush divine appointments. I prepare them. There were conversations happening that you never heard. Thoughts forming in someone's mind that you never knew about. Situations unfolding that seemed unrelated to you, yet they were connected to your future. You saw separate pieces. I saw the whole design. Hearts were being softened quietly. The person who will step into your life in this hour did not wake up suddenly ready. I have been shaping them, teaching them, stretching them, allowing them to grow through their own challenges. Just as I was preparing you, I was preparing them. Delays often feel like rejection, but they are refinement. While you were learning patience, someone else was learning courage. While you were growing in trust, someone else was overcoming hesitation. I was aligning both paths so that when they crossed, the timing would be right. You must understand that nothing about this is random. Every step has been calculated with care. Every pose has been intentional. Even the frustration you felt served a purpose. It strengthened you. It clarified your desire. It deepened your dependence on me. Behind the scenes, doors that once were locked began to loosen. Minds that were closed began to open. Situations that were tangled began to untangle slowly. It did not happen in a dramatic moment. It happened quietly, steadily, like roots growing beneath the surface before a plant ever breaks through the soil. You thought nothing was happening because you did not see immediate results. But I do not work only on the surface. I work at the root. I strengthen the unseen before I reveal the visible. That is why the preparation has been hidden. Even angels have been assigned in this process. Yes, my child, I command my angels concerning you. They move when I speak. They guard what you cannot see. They arrange what you cannot control. While you rested, they worked. While you worried, they guarded. While you questioned, they carried out assignments on your behalf. There were moments when outcomes could have shifted in the wrong direction, but I intervened. I redirected. I shielded. I guided thoughts back into alignment. The encounter that is forming did not come together by chance. It has been carefully guarded. Angels have stood watch over timing. They have prevented premature exposure. They have blocked distractions meant to derail what I am building. They have created subtle paths for connection. You may never fully see all that was prevented, but it was significant. The hidden preparation also included removing what would have harmed you. There were opportunities that seemed promising but were not aligned. There were connections that looked appealing but carried hidden weight. I closed those doors quietly. You felt disappointment, but you were being protected. When two paths must meet at the right time, I adjust both sides. I do not only prepare you, I prepare the environment. I prepare the atmosphere. I prepare the hearts involved. Divine encounters require harmony. You were not forgotten during the delay. You were being shaped. And so was the one who will bless you. There were lessons they needed to learn. Growth they needed to experience. Humility they needed to gain. Courage they needed to build. If this meeting had happened earlier, it would not have carried the same depth. It would have been rushed. It would have been fragile. But now, because of the hidden preparation, it will carry strength. Do not underestimate the quiet seasons. They are full of unseen work. I do not announce every move I make. I often build quietly until the structure is strong enough to stand on its own. You may have felt isolated during the delay, but isolation often protects alignment. Too many voices can disrupt the process. Too much interference could distort timing. I allowed space so that preparation could unfold without chaos. Now the alignment is nearing completion. The pieces are in place. The hearts are ready. The timing is ripening. What you will see externally is only the final step of a long unseen journey. When the encounter happens, you may think it is sudden. But it is not sudden to me. It has been forming for longer than you realize. It has been guarded. It has been arranged. It hath been time. Trust the hidden preparation. Trust the delays that once confused you. Trust the quiet seasons that felt empty. They were not empty. They were full of divine movement. Angels are still active. Alignment is still steady. Timing is still precise. And when the encounter unfolds, you will understand that nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. It was hidden preparation. It was careful design. It was my hand moving behind the scenes all along, my child. You must open now. Not later. Not when you feel more ready. Not when your doubts feel smaller. Now. There is urgency in my voice, not because I am impatient, but because timing matters. Obedience delayed can become opportunity missed. And I do not want you standing outside a door that was meant to open for you simply because you hesitated. There are moments in life when waiting is wise. But there are also moments when waiting becomes fear in disguise. This is not a time for delay. This is a time for response. I have brought you to this exact point through quiet preparation, through unseen alignment, through careful design. To hesitate now would interrupt what has been building. The enemy understands timing. He knows when you are close to breakthrough. He knows when heaven has arranged something significant. And that is when distractions increase. That is when doubt becomes louder. That is when your mind begins to question what your spirit already knows. You may suddenly feel the urge to move on, to scroll away, to tell yourself this is not serious, to assume nothing will happen anyway. That whisper is not from me. That is distraction attempting to pull you out of alignment at the final moment. Faith requires response. Faith is not passive. It is active. When I say open, I am inviting you into agreement with what I am doing. I am asking you to step into alignment willingly. A miracle does not force itself upon you. It flows where there is openness. Opening now is an act of trust. It is saying, I will not let fear delay me. It is saying, I choose belief over doubt. It is saying, if God is speaking, I will respond. The enemy thrives on hesitation. He whispers, you can do it later. He whispers, this is not urgent. He whispers, it will wait. But divine moments do not always wait. Some doors are time-sensitive. Some alignments require immediate agreement. I am not pressuring you to create anxiety. I am calling you into alertness. There is a difference. Anxiety rushes. Faith responds. Anxiety panics. Faith obeys calmly. Opening activates alignment. When you respond to me quickly, you position yourself in the flow of what I have already arranged. Think of alignment like two paths meeting at the exact second they are meant to cross. If one path slows unnecessarily, the meeting shifts. This is why obedience carries urgency. Not because I am harsh, but because timing is sacred. I have orchestrated events carefully. I have prepared hearts. I have positioned circumstances. Your response now is the final key that unlocks the next step. You may not feel fully ready. You may still carry small doubts. But readiness is not about perfection. It is about willingness. When you open, you are not proving strength. You are demonstrating trust. The enemy will attempt subtle distraction. A sudden thought. A sudden interruption. A sudden excuse. He hopes you will step away before the alignment completes. He hopes you will treat this as ordinary. But I tell you clearly, this is not ordinary. There are moments that mark turning points. They often feel simple in the beginning. A small yes. A quiet decision. A gentle step forward. But those small responses unlock greater movement. Opening now is not dramatic. It is intentional. It is choosing to remain present. It is choosing to say, I believe you. It is choosing to not walk away when it would be easier to ignore. You have delayed before in other seasons. You have hesitated in past moments. And sometimes delay cost you growth. I do not speak this to shame you, but to teach you. You have learned from those experiences. You understand now that when I call, response brings blessing. Faith is strongest when it moves quickly. Not recklessly, but confidently. When you sense my voice, respond. When you feel the nudge, obey. Do not wait for every detail to be explained. Trust that I see the full picture. Opening activates movement not only in you, but around you. Alignment strengthens. Protection intensifies. Favor accelerates. When you respond in faith, heaven responds in agreement. This is not about fear of missing out. This is about stepping into what hath been prepared. I am inviting you to cooperate with what I have already arranged. The urgency is love-driven. I do not want you standing at the edge of something beautiful while doubt convinces you to stay still. I do not want you to look back later and wonder what would have happened if you had responded. You are closer than you realize. That is why distraction feels stronger. That is why hesitation feels tempting. But I am here, steady and clear. Open now. Not because you are forced, but because you trust me. Not because you are afraid, but because you believe me. This moment carries weight. Your response carries power. Do not let the enemy steal what has been prepared. Do not let hesitation interrupt alignment. Do not let fear disguise itself as wisdom. Faith moves when called. Faith opens when invited. And when you open now, alignment completes. My child, something is breaking right now. Not around you first, but within you. The chains of doubt that have wrapped themselves quietly around your thoughts are beginning to crack. You carried disbelief for so long that it started to feel normal. You learned to expect disappointment before expecting blessing. You trained your heart to lower its hopes so that the fall would not hurt as much. But I am breaking that pattern now. Doubt has spoken loudly in your mind. It told you that nothing would change. It whispered that promises were for others but not for you. It convinced you that hope was dangerous. It made you question whether I was truly moving in your life. But those whispers do not carry authority. I do. You have lived under the weight of what if it doesn't happen for too long. That weight has shaped your posture. It has lowered your gaze. It has quieted your expectation. But now the chains of disbelief are being loosened. You may feel it as a subtle lightness. You may notice that your thoughts are not as heavy as they were before. That is not coincidence. That is freedom beginning. Fear has also stood at the door of your mind for years. Fear of loss. Fear of rejection. Fear of failure. Fear of being seen. Fear of being disappointed again. It tried to protect you, but it only imprisoned you. Fear promised safety, but it delivered limitation. I am lifting that anxiety now. Anxiety does not leave all at once with loud noise. Sometimes it leaves quietly, like a storm passing into still air. The atmosphere inside you is shifting. Where there was tightness, there will be calm. Where there was racing thought, there will be steady breath. You are sensing something change. The heaviness that once followed you into every room is thinning. The tension that lived in your chest is easing. That is because the atmosphere around you is no longer the same. When I speak freedom, the environment shifts. Chains do not always break with a visible snap. Sometimes they dissolve as truth replaces lies. Doubt loses strength when you remember who I am. Fear weakens when you recognize my presence. Anxiety fades when you understand that I am in control. The enemy built those chains slowly. One disappointment at a time. One delay at a time. One unanswered question at a time.